What's going on, guys? Chef Joe here. Hope everyone's surviving, doing well, staying fit, healthy. Hopefully you're trying some of these dinners, these family meals that we're enjoying over here. Tonight's one of my favorites. I promised everyone the chicken Francese was coming, and here it is. Chicken Francese, I should say. This is the chicken Francese my way. Okay? I'm glad that you're here with me tonight. As I always preach, the mise en place. Okay? Meaning, everything weighed out, organized, even better if it's in the order of preparation, easier for you. The kitchen's nice and clean. I have all my ingredients laid out, weighed, etc. So that makes the process very enjoyable. And we're gonna start this thing, okay? I'm happy you're with me tonight. I look forward to this. I think I do this more for me than anybody else. So I just wanna stay positive, stay engaged. Anyway, I got some chicken breast. All right, I got some beautiful chicken breast here, and all I did to it was just take some of that kind of white skin off it, that fat, all right, the little excess fat. So this looks pretty nice, and it had one little tenderloin on it, so we're going to use that as well. And I don't need to cut that one, so first we're going to cut the chicken, okay? I always tell my son the most dangerous knife in the kitchen is a dull knife. A sharp knife is always the best, okay? So invest in a good knife. It's really important. Get yourself a nice chef's knife. So I'm going to take the chicken breast, I'm going to cut little scallopinis out of it. And I like to just kind of cut them on a bias like this, okay, into little medallions. Okay, see that? And it helps with a nice sharp knife. I don't have to struggle with it, okay? And I'm cutting these little scallopinis, these little medallions, chicken medallions. And you can get quite a bit for the family here out of just 2 breasts. You can probably feed about 6 people. Usually go 2 pieces per person with the pasta, 2-3 pieces, and it's more than enough. Okay, and you just slice them nice and thin on an angle. Be careful. And now you got your chicken ready to go. Okay, let's put our knife down. Just watch my hands.
Someone's asking, how do you sharpen your knives?
I use a stone and then I resharpen it with the steel. The steel is just to resharpen the knife. So you're gonna have someone put it on a stone if you don't know how. And then you can just kind of keep up on it with your steel. Maybe we'll do a knife sharpening demo one day. I can do that too. All right, anyway, our chicken is cut. Now here comes some of the little, not tricks, but little helpful hacks, okay? When I pound out my chicken breast, I take my cutting board and I completely wrap it in saran wrap, plastic wrap. So it has a nice non-stick surface here. Then I'll just simply lay out my scallopinis, giving it enough room, okay? And I got a nice big cutting board here, so I got a big family, so I need a little bit larger size to do everything.
Allison is sending you some love.
Oh, Allie, what's up? She loves to cook, too. She's a good cook.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna lay out our scallopinis. Looking nice. I got some organic chicken breast. Let's try to get the good stuff. All right, you got your mallet. Now a great way to kind of use, instead of using another layer of plastic, I take one of these heavy duty freezer bags. I might have showed you this with the chicken parm. I just take my knife and cut it and it's open like this. And it's a nice kind of heavy gauge plastic that's not going to rip when I hit it with the mallet. Okay, choke up on the mallet a little bit and I don't slam the crap out of it, guys. I just kind of give it a nice little love tap, all right? I'm just kind of trying to tenderize it and making it even so it cooks nice and evenly, all right? Now for Francese, I might want to go a little bit thinner because I'm taking into consideration it's going to have a layer of flour and a layer of egg wash on it, so it's going to kind of come up a little bit. So we're going to give it a nice... And when you're using your cutting board, put a wet towel underneath it. Keep it nice and secure for you. Okay. Like so. How many chickens do you think I pounded out in 39 years?
A lot.
I've been in the kitchen 39 years now. Pretty crazy. Okay, pound out the chicken.
Jersey's watching you, babe.
I'm getting a little frustration out, right? A little aggression. Okay. And we got a beautiful chicken pounded out here. All right, so here we go. Our scallopinis are ready. Get rid of our plastic wrap. And here we are. All right, now let's look at the flouring and the egg real quick before we go back to the chicken. Let's skip the chicken. I got some all-purpose flour and I have 5 eggs. 5 eggs was enough for maybe 2 big breasts. Whipped up with a hand blender or a whisk is fine. And of course, you know, I'm always preaching the seasoning. So some people don't do this. It's very important that you season the flour. Okay? A little bit of salt and pepper, and you season the egg wash. Use a fork to incorporate the salt and pepper into the flour. That's the best way to get it all mixed in there. Goes right through the fork tines and it just mixes up nice. Okay, so your flour is really ready to go. The egg. The key. A little bit of the Locatelli Parmesan cheese. Remember I say from good to great? That's the taste. Makes it from good to great. And then of course some chopped fresh Italian parsley, not the curly stuff. Okay, and you got that. I say okay a lot, I was told. Okay?
Ireland is watching.
What's happening, Ireland? What's going on? It must be signing maybe? Okay, so I got the egg wash mixed up, all right? With our little bit of parsley, our Parmesan cheese, a little salt and pep, and that's ready to rock and roll.
Westfield wants a shout out.
What's up, Westfield? The home team. All right, guys. I even like to season the chicken a little bit. I'm not taking any chances, okay? Just on one side. I'm just kind of hedging my bet that I'm going to have a lot of nice flavor on this chicken. It's not going to have a dull flavor to it. All right, so at this point, we're going to do our little dredging here. Very simply, I like to do one with one and one with the other. The left hand for the flour. Okay, you always work with one hand when you do this type of stuff. You always want to have a hand that's clean if you can get away with it. Nice little dredge in the flour. I'm not pressing it on there. I'm just kind of letting it very delicately and gently. All right, and I'm just going to do a few pieces for right now. I'll do the rest when I go off camera for the family, but I just want to give you a few demo shots here. Okay, and that's a good spot. All right, there's our scallopini in there. Let me move this real quick, guys. Thank you. Get a nice clean area. And now I'm going to start cooking. All right, this is a very simple recipe, very, very simple. Now, simple doesn't mean easy. Simple means simple. All right, there's still some work to be done. We want a nice medium heat. And while that's heating up, let's talk about the mise en place. How I'm going to do mine maybe a little bit differently. You know, there's no traditional way of Francese. This is an Italian-American dish, so put your spin on it. I like a lot of color. I like vegetable in mine. I like certain things in mine. If you're a traditionalist with just the lemon, the caper, by all means, knock yourself out. But I like to kind of jazz it up a little bit. It makes it more fun for me personally. First thing I'm going to do, I like to have a little tongs for this one. And I'm dipping my chicken in there, okay? And it's got a nice coating on it. Beautiful flavor on there. I got a nice hot pan. And how I test it is this, I drop a little egg in there. See the egg cook up?
Yeah.
I know it's ready to roll. Okay, so temper your pan slightly. And always use a towel. And we're going to go right from this egg wash right into that pan. Okay? And I like to just kind of tip it a little bit. That one kind of broke a little bit. There we go. Nice scallopini here. Tip the oil away from you. Okay, and you see we're getting a nice fry on it already. Okay, I'm going to go up on the heat a little bit. Keep that heat going. Okay, and let's see. We'll kind of put that one together. We go high. And the last little piece. And just let that sit, don't touch it. I'm going to save my egg because I'm doing some more later. All right, so let's talk about what I'm going to kind of add to mine. I have fresh lemon. If you don't have any fresh lemon, the little lemon juice is going to be perfect. I had a little bit of that white mushroom left over, button mushroom. I have a few spinach leaves. I tore the stems off. Okay, let's take care of our chicken real quick. I just kind of take a peek under the hood, see how it looks. Hey, 1 more minute. I have some of those cherry tomatoes, those heirloom colorful cherry tomatoes. A little bit of slivered garlic, probably 3 cloves. Okay, I have some of that fresh Italian parsley. And we're not going to need the Parmesan. Now I'm ready to flip the chicken over, and I tilt that pan away from me, and I got a beautiful Francese happening now. Only needs another minute. And maybe one more minute on these. Okay, let that sit for a sec. Let me talk about how we're going to plate this real quick while we got time. I cooked up some homemade fettuccine here. Just came out of the pot, still nice and hot, and I have a little garnish of one of those. I call it the Jersey Long Hot. One of my favorite little peppers to garnish pasta with right over the top. It's delicious. So we're going to put that on the side for a sec. Let's go back to our chicken and attend to this because we're going to do everything right in that saute pan. It's all happening right here. Okay. Cook our chicken. Okay, sorry, I got the busted up ones, but it's still going to be good. All right. Let that fry up a little bit. I'm going to get a spatula now. When I'm ready to take these out, I'm going to put them on this plate right here, and then I'm going to start making the sauce part of it. Okay? I hope everyone's doing well. I really appreciate you guys checking these videos out. It's a lot of fun. The family loves it. And it's just a lot of good stuff. So let's give that another nice minute. This isn't the best burner, guys, but when you're doing it on your home stove, it's going to come out really nice and crispy. Okay? Yeah, it's looking good.
Hi, Leo.
Okay. Hey, Leo. All right. Now our chicken's going to be going back in. It's still not cooked all the way. I'm going to use the residual heat of the sauce to kind of reheat this so it's butter tender. Let me get rid of this oil. Got my little coffee pot in here and my leftover oil. And give it a little wipe. Now I'm going to start the sauce. Okay, the sauce is very similar to the scampi that we did. Very, very similar. Basically almost the same sauce. Okay, the sauce is nice and hot. I'm going to add a little touch of oil. Vegetable oil is fine. Olive oil is fine. Just a shot. I just want a little bit just to saute with. Okay, just a little nugget. Pardon me. Okay. Right now I'm going to add my mushrooms. Hot mushrooms. Let those go. Okay, I can hear them sizzling. Turn my heat up all the way. I got this beautiful button mushroom in there. And just let them kind of get seared a little bit. All right, don't crowd the pan. Let them kind of sear. Because what you're doing is you're extracting all the nice flavor. You don't need to rush these dishes. They're easy dishes. And the key is to let this stuff cook. Now, as I always preach, I season every step of the way. Always. A little salt and pepper right there. Okay. I said okay again.
It is okay.
And let that simmer a little bit and sear nice and hard. All right. Smells good just like that.
Chris Ellen said her kids are loving all the dinner recipes.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. All right, so as the mushrooms, I'm going to go a little quicker than I typically would because I just want you guys to start cooking. I got my slivered garlic. I'm going to throw that in there. Let me just hit it with a little touch more oil. Just to get that activating. There we go. Okay. Get back in it. Oh, we need smell-o-vision right now. Garlic, salt, pepper, and mushroom. It's nice.
Jeff said you're cooking up a jewel.
Yeah, right? Okay. And you got your beautiful mushroom here, and it's releasing all that nice flavor in there. And that's
Sam Rapuano said hello.
Hey, Sam. And that's a Westfield man. We're going to let that mushroom go for half a second. At this point, I'm going to throw in my tomato. I like a lot of nice chopped tomato in there. Beautiful.
That smell.
Thank you, Joey, for the prep work. My son Joey did the prep work tonight. I'm just going to season the tomato a little bit. Okay? Just like that. Let that rip a little bit. Let that all break down. Let that tomato kind of break down a little bit. And just look at the color on that already.
Someone's asking, could you add chili and jalapeno
Absolutely.
to the dish?
And wait till the end. You're going to see where mine comes in. Because you read my mind. Yeah. I do it a little bit differently. I'm going to use that Jersey Long Hot as my heat on this dish. So absolutely. I would put the crushed red pepper in with the garlic. Let that saute with the mushroom prior to putting the tomato in. Let that chili flake incorporate into your olive oil. All right, that's good. Now,
Mama Longo send a shout out to the
Mama.
kids from Westfield.
All right. That's looking great right now. It's lifting up all those little bits and pieces. And what I'm going to do now is I float my chicken right back in there. I put it right back in. Tell your local Italian restaurant, man. They might not be doing it right. Okay, so we got our chicken in there. That's still sizzling nicely. I'm going to add a few spinach leaves. Okay, just break them with my fingers. I take the stems off for the most part. You don't need to, but I don't like to eat the stem if I don't have to. Okay, a few spinach leaves in there.
Someone's dad's writing every step of the way.
And I'm going to do a little bit more salt and pep, just a touch. I'm going to let that get nice and hot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to deglaze with some white wine. I'm going to go once around the horn, I call it. Right? 12 o'clock. Let that kind of simmer and reduce a little bit. You don't want to taste that wine flavor. The wine is just has a nice mellowness and a nice kind of enhancement to it. But when you get a sauce that has a lot of wine flavor in it, that means they didn't reduce the sauce enough. So we're going to let that kind of reduce before we add our next ingredients. I want that wine to go down about maybe not quite half, maybe a third of reduction. Burn off all the alcohol, etc. Our next step is a half a lemon, fresh squeezed. It's going to just make a big difference if you use fresh squeezed, if you can get it. I just like to go around the horn, just like I did with the wine. Okay, and I will adjust the seasoning. If I feel like I need more lemon at the end, I have another piece here. I can adjust everything.
I wish you could smell it.
Okay, so it's looking pretty good right now. And I like to add more of that parsley. That Italian parsley. And let that go for a second. Let me wipe my face off. It's hot in Florida. It's like 85 degrees today. Pardon me.
Cousin Karen from Chicago is making that tomorrow night.
All right, cool. Awesome.
We want to
She
see
said
pictures.
she has a bedroom for me, man. I'm going to take her up on it when this thing blows over. Okay, so take a look at this, Danny. This is looking good right now.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock. Once around the horn. Okay, once around the horn with the chicken stock. That's sort of how I gauge everything. Just after all the years of cooking this, it's just the way it goes. All right. Always have a little tasting spoon.
I am so lucky.
Listen, guys, in the professional kitchen, it's mandatory that you taste everything. I preach it all day long. Guys who cook and they don't taste their food. It happens every single day. So taste your food, please. Taste it before you serve it. Taste everything. Okay? I'm going to see how this tastes. It's shaping up. Needs a little bit more salt and pepper. Okay? Just like that. I think that's going to be great. It's got enough lemon, wine, chicken stock. It's perfect. I taste the garlic. I can taste the hint of the tomato, the mushroom flavors coming out. And now we just need to let this reduce, get thick. Let's give it 2 minutes. Let's talk about the plate up. I do it simple. Any pasta, but to me, for Francese, it needs more of a delicate kind of noodle. You know, yeah, you could eat it with penne, rigatoni, but I love like a fettuccine or a pappardelle. Soak up all that good juice in there, right? It's a nice pasta with the egg. The egg pasta is really good with this dish. It all really kind of enhances each other. Now, I don't want to kill the chicken. Remember the shrimp? I pulled it out. My chicken's done now. Okay, by way of residual heat and just the fact of this sauce, I'm going to take that chicken out. I'm going to start my plate up now. My family meal. I'm just going to layer the chicken on top of my pasta. And someone like Chris Ellen's going to have to put about 1,000 pieces on top. But we have 2 vegetarians in the house, so I don't have to cook that much meat anymore. And okay, so the chicken's nice and tender. Let's let this sauce reduce for a second. We're going to have to do one last thing to this sauce. We're going to have to add a little bit of butter to it. It is optional, but to me, it gives it that velvety. It's going to thicken the sauce up. And I mean, I just use like this much. You know, maybe like a tablespoon, not even. You know, just a little dollop of it in there. And by the time that whole sauce boils and comes together, that butter is going to emulsify everything, and it's going to give you that sort of nice velvety finish that you're looking for in a chicken Francese. You're not looking for broth on top, you're looking for sauce. Okay, so let's just take a minute and just get this sauce to the right way. It's going to take about a minute and a half, so let's just bear with it. What's going on with everybody? What are you guys cooking?
Chrisella said, you know it. Butter makes everything taste better.
I can't believe it. And this is looking pretty good. Really nice.
I wish you could smell it. It's so
now,
good.
earlier in the day, I roasted this. I call it the Jersey Long Hop. It's got a nice little medium heat to it to me. Sometimes they're spicy. Like 1 out of 10 is like jalapeno, but most are kind of mild. And I just float that thing into the sauce almost at the end. That's going to give it just the right amount of spice. And then if the guest or the family wants more, they just take a little sliver of the hot pepper, and then they got their heat there. All right, so let's just let this go. Sorry about the slowness of this burner, but it's getting there. All right. I'm going to get my serving spoon here, and I can start kind of taking some of this stuff out. Let's see. Let's put this hot pepper on the side for a sec. Let's take some of these groceries, I like to call them, out. And we'll tighten that sauce up. I'm just kind of taking out some of the mushroom and tomato and everything. Okay. And you don't have to kill it. It's just like a nice quick dish. It's a very quick saute dish. Now let's get this part right where we need to be. All right. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I got to add one more little bit of butter to get this thing going. All right, that's it. Save your butter comments. Save your butter comments.
Jersey Long Hot.
Yeah, that's it, right? Okay, so our sauce is looking really nice right now. It's really looking good, and it's gonna keep getting thicker.
Oh yeah, someone's asking if you charred that first.
I did.
Yeah.
I just did it in the saute pan with olive oil, salt, pepper. Just keep on moving it around. That's all I did, and it's already cooked through. So now you can see it's starting to reduce. You see how it's going right now? That's the step where you're looking for. You want to get the whole pan looking like this, and it should tighten itself up really nicely. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to do a little garnish too, while we have time. Make it pretty for the family. I'm going to do a little sliced lemon. Maybe 2 slices of lemon. And now our sauce is looking good. It's looking nice. It's reducing nice. It's getting a nice thickness to it. And I think I'm almost ready to take it. Okay. Sauce is about ready. I would let it go maybe another minute or so, guys. It's going to tighten up a little bit more, but that looks pretty good. You can see it's got some body to the sauce, right? You can see that the sauce has body to it now. And then I just go like this.
Beautiful. Yes.
And we garnish with our long hot. Make it pretty. And we have Jersey style chicken Francese with a little Jersey long hot pepper, some heirloom cherry tomatoes, mushrooms, spinach, over homemade fresh fettuccine. Easy to do, guys. I hope you enjoy that one. I love everybody. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.